Hey, it's Lauren. So for today's look, I'm going to be doing a really beautiful fresh skin look, and then I'm going to be using a palette I haven't played with in a while, which is the Athr Beauty Summer Solstice Palette. I'm going to do some peachy cheeks, and I don't know what I'm going to do on the lips just yet. We'll get back to that. So I'm going to start with using some Gressa Minimalist Foundation. I kind of am between shades, so I used to mix 2.5 and 3, but then recently I've mixed 2.5 and 3.5, and that's actually been like a perfect match for my skin. So that is what I have mixed up. I just use 1 drop of each and buff that onto my skin. And what I love so much about this foundation in particular is it can be really, really full coverage. Depending on how you've prepped your skin, I find that you can make it a little bit fuller or more sheer. So if you have more of like a dewy base on your skin, you're able to really sheer it out more. So I've prepped my skin with a not yet launched Bella Aura product. Get excited. You're not gonna see Bella Aura launching new products left and right. We're not about like following whatever the trends are. We kind of create them and do our own. So there's a new product launching, and I can't really tell you anything else about it right now, but I will in the very near future. What I can tell you is it's amazing. I've never used anything quite like it, so that will be coming soon. And then I also have some sunscreen on my skin. I have the, where is it? La Roche-Posay. A lot of you ask me what sunscreen I like or I use. That has been my absolute favorite. I also really like the Coats Prime and Protect. That has been really good on my skin also, but that's much more like silicone-y, and it doesn't always play well with everything that I try to put on over it. And I've got a little like blemish going on right there. So what I'm gonna do is take a little tiny bit of 2.5, and I'll use that to kind of, we'll go and spot conceal under my eyes a little bit with that to brighten. I'll just dot a little extra there. Next, I'm going to bronze my face with a little bit of Gressa Minimalist Bronzer. This stuff is very, very concentrated. So what I like to do is sometimes like I'll just kind of like wipe around the neck of the bottle, or just like one tiny little drop of it, because it's intense. So here's what I do. I like to start blending on my cheeks usually first. I've kind of found that this does kind of set quickly. I feel like maybe a little quicker than the Minimalist Foundation. So I like to get that blended out on my cheeks so they don't end up kind of muddy. But it adds like a really nice definition and warmth to your face. There's only one shade of Minimalist, and I feel like it works up to a pretty deep skin tone. Obviously, if you are extremely fair, I think you're gonna need way less of this. Whenever I had a little less color than I do now, I remember using way too much at first and being like, oh my God, like this is not universal. But I actually do think if you use like the tiniest little dot, you can make it work for really, really fair skin too. Now I'm going to use the shade Chouchette from Westman Atelier in their Baby Cheeks. And this really is such a lovely formula. I'm gonna use a blending brush from MAC. Such a pretty nude peach flush. All right, now I'm going to powder my face. I'm going to use Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Pound Cake, and this really just seems to play well with this foundation. I tend to grab this one, I feel like. Mostly start in the center of my face and work my way out. So I've been continuing to prep for our big cross-country move, and I'm chronicling kind of my minimalist journey on my blog. So if you're interested in minimalism and kind of what that looks like, and yeah, that's like all on my blog. I kind of keep more of like my home lifestyle type stuff over there. I try to keep my YouTube more about beauty, but I do want to share a little bit of that kind of stuff with you because I realize a lot of you are interested in it. Anytime I've posted on my Instagram stories about selling a lot of things, not having so many things in our house, I get a lot of questions about it. Like, how do you do that with a toddler? Like, how do you do that with your work? I will say for my work stuff, for beauty related stuff, I'm not minimalist. I think if this were not something that I did, and if I weren't reviewing products and stuff, I would have way less stuff than I do. But because I try new stuff all the time, I have quite a bit of beauty stuff. Maybe not as much as other people, but yeah, that area of my life is not super minimalist. So this is the Phytosurgence Spectral Shine in the shade Mirrored Moonlight, and this is the most like glorious highlighting powder. Not even powder, it's like a cream powder. I don't know, it's kind of an odd texture. I say odd, it's lovely. It's just very different than most highlighters that I've ever used, but it gives your skin this like ethereal glow. But yeah, if you're interested in minimalism and what that's going to look like for us to move across the country in 2 sedans with a toddler and 3 pets and only what we can fit in our cars, check out my blog. I'll link that below. I think more importantly, a lot of people, when they think about minimalism, they tend to think about getting rid of everything and not having anything. And I think that can be part of it, but I also think there's another part of it where it's about what you're inviting back into your life and your space and what you do have and how it supports your life. So that's kind of like the flip side. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more blush because I just want a little more flushed appearance today. Before I apply my eyeshadow, I'm going to prep my eyelids with Painterly MAC Paint Pot for a nice, bright, smooth canvas. Now I'm going to take the Athr Beauty Summer Solstice Palette. I think they just call it the Solstice Palette now. And I'm going to start with the shade Solstice. So, fun thing that I want to talk about, I am officially an Athr Beauty investor. I just thought that was like such a fun thing to jump in on. They did a like crowdfunding campaign, and so like I was able to put a little bit of money towards that because I really believe in the company and I love their sustainability efforts. And I've met with Tyla before, and I'm just so in awe of what she's building. So I wanted to just let you all know I'm officially an Athr Beauty investor. So I'm just going to build up the shade Solstice on my eyelids. And I'll feather this a little bit through the crease as well. It's like my first investment that I've made. Like my husband has done that kind of stuff, but this was something that was important to me, and I love being able to be a part of that in the space of beauty and the future of beauty. So I thought that was just kind of fun and cool. Now I'm going to take a smaller, more dense brush. I'm going to take the shade Balance, which is like this kind of matte, deep terracotta shade, and use that in my crease. I also want to run, I'm gonna make this a little stronger right here. I also want to run some of this color underneath my eyes. Actually, I'm gonna go slightly lighter, I think. So I'm just gonna flick off some of the excess because I do want to use this brush still. So I'm gonna use the lighter counterpart to that, which is called Soul. And I'm just going to put that on this brush, top off the excess, and go directly underneath my eye. I like to do this sometimes where I use a slightly lighter shade, just because I feel like it can really open up my eye shape. Now I'm going to blend out that darker shade that we applied. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shade Intrinsic, which is this kind of like raisin with a subtle shimmer. And I'm gonna put this on an eyeliner brush, and I'm going to use this to line my eyes. And then I'm gonna go over top of that with an actual liner. Now I'm going to use the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal in the shade Bordeaux. And I think this will add a really cool effect with this color that we've got going on. And then I'm also going to use the smudger on the opposite side of this. And for good measure, I'm going to drag a little bit of this down here, just using the smudger. I love that. Now I need to fill my eyebrows. I'm going to go with the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I wear the shade 3.5. Now I'm going to set my brows with Thrive Causemetics Instant Fix Brow Gel in the shade Audrey. I want to use Victoria Beckham Future Lash. For my lip today, I feel like on any ordinary day, I would probably go a little more neutral, but I'm not doing that today. I'm gonna do a really strong lip with this. So I'm gonna use the Fitglow lip liner in the shade Root. All right, and now I'm going to top this with more of like a red kind of shade to kind of tie in that burgundy that we did. So what I'm gonna do is use the Westman Atelier Lip Suede, and I'm gonna use that deep brick shade over top of this. Now I want to powder around this a little bit so it won't move. I'm gonna add the tiniest little bit of this Lip Mate topper from Thrive. This is the shade Glinda. I'm putting it on my finger so I don't ruin my applicator. I'm gonna put this mostly in the center of my lips. That added just that extra little zing. All right, that's today's final look. I love it. It's a little dramatic for moving into like summertime, and I actually just really don't even care. I love how this came together. Let me know if you enjoyed this down in the comments below, and if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe. That helps other people to find my channel, and I can continue making you fresh new content all the time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.